All right, Detroit Lions fans. It is Detroit Damon Robinson back in the house. We're going to talk about the Detroit Lions round two potential draft prospects for the 2025 Detroit Lions draft. Second round prospects. All right, so just some news from the Detroit Lions with some jersey number changes. So just to let you guys know, if you bought a Jahmyr Gibbs jersey, he went from number 26 to number 0. If you bought a Jameson Williams jersey, he went from number 9 to now number 1. If you bought a Terry Arnold jersey, he went from number 0 to number 6. I thought 0 was a pretty good number. And then Enos Rakestraw went from number 15 to number 9. That's about it for the major players. Broderick Martin was now number 99, and Tim Patrick's now number 12. So, with that being said, let's get to the Detroit Lions draft. Option number 1. The Detroit Lions, if I was them, wish I was, choose a zone corner, 5'11", 183 pounds, out of University of Kentucky. Maxwell Hairston runs a 4.28 40. He is a local kid, came out of West Bloomfield. He has speed to burn. He's elite in zone. He has remarkable fluidity. If you saw him, he just baited that quarterback. Watch here. He comes off his guy and comes to the free guy and picks it off. Just baited him. Such a nice job. Kentucky's an SEC, so that's stiff competition. So you can't say it's competition's weak. So, with that being said, the strengths are elite in zone, remarkable fluidity, elite ball skills, and infectious energy. The kid looks like he's having fun. His weaknesses are he's got a little bit of a slight frame. It lacks ideal strength. Other than that, looking pretty good as a potential Detroit Lions draft. The number 2 option in round 2, pick number 60, is also a cornerback. A zone cornerback, most likely, but can also potentially play safety. This young man, 6'3", 195 pounds, runs a 4.30 40. He is from Iowa State, and this is none other than Mr. Darian Porter. Zone cornerback with rare length and speed at 6'3", 195 pounds. He's got natural ball tracking ability, and he's got advanced instincts. Now, some of his weaknesses are going to be he's going to be a little tight in the hips because he's tall. And because he played receiver for so long, he's a little bit raw at his position, and he's 25. So he's a little older, little inexperienced for his age. Nonetheless, he can turn into a safety. We can turn him into a safety if impossible, or a big slot corner at times if there's a big wide receiver on that team, or a tight end, cover tight ends for instead of Brian Branch having to do it. Even though Brian Branch does a phenomenal job. This guy, you can see here, he's got the length to come in and play special teams and block some extra points or field goals. So, be a nice addition to our Detroit Lions team. Our third option is, I'm about to say it. If we don't get a defensive end in the first round, we got to go defensive end. So, I'm putting my money on this big, long, tall Sally here. 6'7", 270-pound defensive end. Runs a 4.68. He jumped out of the gym during the combine. Like his broad jump, his vertical was really pretty good, but his broad jump was excellent. This guy, he can play on the end as an edge setter, but he can also move in, just like our 2 guys we talked about in the beginning with Shamar Stewart or Nick Skirton. He can move inside and play a little quick three. And this is Landon Jackson, defensive end out of Arkansas. Like I said, 6'7", 270, 4.68 40. Excellent length, excellent moves, excellent hand placement. He's a powerful edge setter, which is what we need opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And he has a nonstop motor, which we always going to appreciate that. Look at him right there for Arkansas, number 40. Getting to the quarterback. And if he doesn't get there, look at him set the edge right there. And then he's able to track out in space and get the guy in the flat. So that's good. You see how he extended his arms and set that edge. He wasn't going anywhere, and that's what we need for a defensive end. His weaknesses are sometimes he has a little bit of a slow get off, and he lacks the elite bend that Detroit Lions, or not Detroit Lions, but a defensive end that's going to be going after the quarterback would have to be able to get around that end. But as an edge setting end, you don't have to have that elite bend. You got to have that stout presence, those legs, to stop that tackle or that pulling guard from getting outside you and ruining your outside contain or blowing you out of the box and making big holes. So that's him, Landon Jackson, Arkansas. The next is Jack Sawyer, defensive end from Ohio State Buckeyes, 6'4", 260, runs a 4.6 40. He showed out throughout the season. He also showed out in the championship game. Very stout, strength, so he's powerful at the point of the attack. He's got instincts. He's got IQ. He's a leader. He's an excellent run defender. And, the guys, he's a stud. So, he might play a little high like some of the tall players do. And he's got limited flexibility. But once again, for an edge setting end, you don't need that flexibility. You want more of that stoutness. And that's why the NFL is the way it is. You got some guys who play that, bendy, flexy end. You got some guys who play that power end. You got some guys that play that motor end. And so that's what these last two guys are. Our next potential pick, round 2, option 5, is a guy I don't know that well, but he looks good from what I've seen in this. You'll see some videos here in a second. And his name is Braden Swinson. He's a defensive end out of LSU. Now, this guy, he's 6'4", 250 pounds. He runs a 4.8 40. Basically, he's, when you look at someone, when you talk about setting the edge, once again, he's a little bit of a smaller guy. So he's going to have to be more of that speed to power kind of rusher, bull rusher type guy, maybe. But he's not going to be so much one to set the edge. I mean, I'm sure he can put on some more weight at 250, maybe get to 260, 270. But I think I see some potential there. So his strengths are he's got great speed to power conversion, great motor, great moves and explosiveness, and he's got great hand usage. So he's able to keep those longer arm tackles from getting a grip on him, and he can't get away. He needs to work on his football IQ, and he needs to set a better anchor, which we talked about. But other than that, I mean, once again, he could be one of those ones that you bring in a package deal and have him chase the quarterback. Our next potential, we're going to look at offense. Okay, like I told you guys, guard in the second, maybe guard in the third. Glasgow's getting a little bit older. He's been banged up. We may need a right guard, and this guy fits the bill. He's 6'6", 320 pounds, runs a 4.97. Yeah, I'm talking about the man with the mullet, Tate Ratledge out of Georgia, offensive guard. This guy, watching this video here, how they're going to do a combo block here. He's going to come off, and then he's going to come off to the other guy as he stunts around him. So the combo block, then he stunts off, or he comes off on the stunter here. He takes on the linebacker, so trying to fill the gap, and blows him out for the running back to do what looks to possibly be like a zone read. So it looks like he can do some man-to-man, do some zone with his speed, 4.97. He can get out and do some pulling. He has great strength, power, heavy hands, great run blocker, nasty demeanor. You got to be nasty with that mullet. I mean, come on. They say he's got great in pass protection as well. So if you can do great run blocking and pass blocking on the right side next to Penei Sewell, hey, we got it made, because we got Christian Mahogany on the left next to Taylor Decker. So in that regard, we're looking pretty good. Now back to the defensive side of the ball for our 7th option. This guy's out of Boston College. He's 6'3", 248, runs a 4.62. So you can see he's got the speed. Doesn't look like he has as much length, but he's got the speed. He's got some of the weight at 248. His name is Donovan Izureku. I think I butchered it, but hey, you know what I'm talking about. Donovan Izureku, defensive end out of Boston College. He's technically advanced, coming out of the Big Ten. He's got a great motor, explosive first step. The weaknesses are he probably could have better hand usage to keep those taller tackles from getting into his space, and he needs to have better strength as an anchor. And once again, when you're a little bit smaller, it's kind of hard to anchor against a tackle, or got a tackle and a pulling guard coming in to wipe you out. I played defensive end. It's horrible seeing these big old beef guys coming at you. They just run you over and step on your back, and so you gotta be able to stand up and push, stop their forward progress, and that's what he'll have to work on. But nonetheless, nice looking pick. Our eighth option, Princely Umanmielen, defensive end, out of Ole Miss. He's 6'4", 244 pounds, runs a 4.72 40. He's got good get off the ball, great length. He must have long arms. He's 6'4", but he's probably got long arms. Great change of direction. He's competitive. He runs a 4.72, so he's not so much of a speed guy. He's got some pretty good speed, but the problem is that sometimes his pad level is kind of high, and he might need some technical refinement. But once again, this guy in his first season, you're going to just tell him, hey, go hunt. Put his hand in the dirt, tell him to go get it, and he can go get it. And we've got Marcus Davenport. We've got Josh Pascal. We've got other guys. Even Aleem McNeil can play that big defensive end in that 3-4 front if we go to that with the outside linebacker, maybe putting his hand, Barnes maybe putting his hand in the dirt, or whomever we have. And so we have the option of having maybe even Princely maybe running it as that, maybe an outside linebacker kind of role at times. So, we'll see. But I think he's a good prospect. I think he's got a lot of potential. And for our eighth option, if he's there, we might take him. Now for our ninth option. Now this guy, I really like this guy, man. This guy, he's the Robin to Jack Sawyer's Batman at Ohio State, but this he's very athletic. He reminds me of somebody who could almost play tight end. He's 6'5", 269 pounds, so he's a little heavy for a tight end, but he runs a 4.62. But this guy, I mean, I watched him hooping, man. This guy, he looked like I don't know who he looked like, man. He was hooping with these guys. He had all this big old guy, and he's just doing reverse layups and jams and stuff like that. And like the Rock playing against a bunch of little kids. But this guy is quite an athlete. 6'5", like I said, 269, 4.62, power, motor, great edge setter, nice athletic moves. Of course, being a basketball player, his weakness is going to be his speed and flexibility. Of course, he's a big, thick leg, thick trunked guy, and might run at an occasionally high pad level just because his height and the way he's built. But man, this guy, he's quite a people mover, I have to say. Put him on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. He might even drop to the third round. I doubt he'll drop to the third round, but I mean, if we got him at number 28 at the second round, that's okay. Or pick number 60, I should say. Our last option for round number 2, Detroit Lions draft, is Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State, 6'4", 215, runs a 4.47. Now this guy, he kind of sits here at the end of the between the 50s and 80s in the draft, and I know we really don't need another X receiver as much as we might need a defensive end, or as much as we might need a right guard. But he's got some speed, he's got some height, he's got the perfect X qualities. Now, looking at his film, I mean, he looks to be, look at his stats in his film. He looks to have great hands. He's good at tracking the ball. He's good at sitting down in the zone, which is what sometimes X receivers are just, they just want to just run. If they're fast, they just want to do like go routes. To find soft spots in the zone means you understand the coverage that you're running against, that the linebackers are passing off or the cornerbacks are passing off to the safeties. There's that gap there, and you can sit in that gap and you can get yards. And that's what people like Ross St. Brown are good at. They're able to sit in the zone, in the middle of the zone, or sit in a spot, right in front of the linebackers and make these, catch these passes. So What he needs to improve on is his run blocking, and he needs to work on his release and short area quickness because, he's a tall guy. It takes him a while he's going to stutter step. He's probably a long strider. But with that size comes that catch radius. He's got that Calvin Johnson type catch radius, it was the size of a garage. Remember that thing when Calvin Johnson was like this, and it was like he could cover a garage door, like a double-sized garage door. So this guy, large catch radius, high football IQ, and great hands. So as you can see in this video here, he's going for some balls where he's got to come back to the ball and undercut because the ball was maybe underthrown or maybe it was thrown to that area and he was running hard and he had to come back to that and get it. So nice concentration, nice hands here. He showed a little bit of speed on that. It's like some kind of a slant route. Maybe he was playing in the slot. Here he's playing the Z, or maybe playing the X. And he's going to go route. He had a little juke step there. I don't think the guy was that fooled, but it looked pretty good. And he caught a contested pass. So, hey, there you go. Those are my top 10 potential draft pick targets for the Detroit Lions in the 2025 football draft. I forgot what I was going to say. 2025 Detroit Lions football draft. There you have it. And that's me, Damon Robinson, and I'm out. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to just help you guys see some people that may be on the radar. So when they call them in the draft, you can say like, Detroit Damon called that dude out. I thought maybe we might get him, and see maybe Brad Holmes or somebody will call me up, man. Give me I'm a nurse, but I wouldn't mind working in the office. So hit me up, Brad. All right, Detroit Damon, peace.